Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations. Last time we did a little investigating of the store. Some things aren't quite adding up, but our investigation was cut short by Rhoda, delivering news from the captain. So we've landed here at Hope Springs and we're going to continue along. I know that once we had landed, I was supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Tenero and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenero in private. So I'm left wondering just what she was up to. Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Oh, hey! Franziska, I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Franziska Von Karma, the daughter of my mentor Manfred Von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge when you're in a different venue. But I'll have to take what I can get. Never thought I'd see the day. Then a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame? Wait! It has all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. Also, that's fucking ironic considering, your dad committed murder. But, alright. A misunderstanding. I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Franziska, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Too slow. Ow! Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? But Mr. Edgeworth, supposed to, guard him. A simple yes or no, detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth. If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. RV clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Well, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, detective. Believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Franziska is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well, in that case, I have a few questions for you. Okay. Initial investigation? So how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Franziska. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was, a little too quick, sir. Oh? How so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. Somehow when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It's kind of creepy. Though she knew there had been a murder or something. And I'd come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly, and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. I'll find out more as we investigate. Yes, it's high time to resume my investigation. Starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. Is that fucking salmonella? From behind, I think I've seen this man somewhere before. Oh my fucking god, it is. In Soviet Russia, world flags lunchboxes eat drool. I don't know how to do a sound effect for that emote. Mr. Edgeworth, we gotta get him some water. Found it, lol. Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000, lol. For our next elite movie, it's gonna be the Steel Samurai Warrior of Neo-Old Tokyo versus the World Samurai Champion Earth. It's gonna rock Zor so many box sores. Yeah, I think it was false alarm, right, Mr. Edgeworth? So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Completely ignore me as usual. Yeah. Yes, I did die a little inside by saying elite and over 9,000 and rock sores and box sores. God, salmonella. Oh, I was supposed to go here? Oh. So you must be the captain. Why, yes I am, and who might you be? I'm the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska Von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. Oh, somebody getting down with Miss Mound. All right. Wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and her whip. Yeah, that'll keep him in check. Genuinely. I kind of regret not looking around, like, everywhere in the airport. There was someone, like, carrying a little, like, thing they were selling. I don't know. Now, see here. Ah. Sorry, I'm sorry. Oh. How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal I told you. Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop going, or, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't even, oh my fucking god, why can I not read today? I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spare. Is it free roam? OMG, it's free roam. Okay. What's happening here? Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shops. Oh, I always wanted to give their steak lunch a try. What should I go with? I recommend our airport special World Flags lunchboxes, only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. Really want one that badly, Detective. Why don't you go ahead and buy one? Yeah. Is that okay, sir? Thanks. Alright, then I'm really gonna get one. Here I go. Excuse me, miss, I'll take a Star Spangled Banner lunchbox, please. Hope he's aware that it's the most expensive one on the menu. Of course, the US one will be the most expensive. Alrighty then. This man was in first class with me. He's quite shaken up by the whole affair. Be pretty scared too if I got caught up in a murder investigation, sir. I did it. I made it the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. This life vest was proof I made it alive. It's not my prized possession. How would you just take that from the plane? Okay, Mr. Edgeworth. It's got nothing to do with the murder, at least. Damn, that's true fear right there. What if you the plane's preparing for takeoff? I want to ride a plane someday and go overseas. You've never been to another country before, Detective? Nope. Not yet, sir. I don't even have a passport. If you're a police officer, don't you kind of, like, need one? But I've been saving up for that eventual someday. Plenty a day to be precise. At that rate, he won't be making any trips until well after retirement. Well, you know, like, interest in the savings account. Okay, she's facing the wall. I was like, is she asleep and her hair is covering her, like, face again? Alright. Oh, and that's roped off. Okay. Well, then let's see what's going on here. Did you finish taking this statement yet? Yep. All done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay. Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer. He's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. Kind of looks like that other piece of cloth. Yeah, I pointed that out. Yeah, I'm 2 steps ahead of you there, Edgy. Well then, let's present that. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh, it's a Burgundian cloth. As I suspected. Your hat is made of the same material, I suppose? Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous. Orders come from over our seas for more. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier. What did that get updated to? So it is Burgundian, okay. No, my cargo this time is much more gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved? Get your cargo back where we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of your police, it is no good. It is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendant's room too. That attendant? What if he's talking about Miss Tenero? What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendant's room for her interview, and then they still have not come out. And they make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Miss Tenero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time? Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room? Before I do, you'll still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska's logic. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in this very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found. The only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. The likeliest suspect, Franziska. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic. Fast. Don't worry, it should be easy. Okay, complicate things on the most obvious conclusion. Scene of the crime was here in the very lounge. The body was discovered. Technically, we have proof that it could have been elsewhere. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure it specifically said used to transport the body, not like could have been. It would appear that all you did... It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Objection!
Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? I know she said objection with no accent, but god dang it, Von Karma? Come on, she's German. Excuse me? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. The Von Karma is perfect in every way. Ironic, isn't it? Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point?
Objection!
As if there is proof of that. Where's the proof that the suitcase was moved around? Yep, something being dragged, but let me just make sure. I mean, the blood on the wheels, but, you know. Let's go with this.
Take that!
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where's the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here? Why, it's these tire marks, son.
Take that!
Well, streaks. This mark here, would you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there was also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Objection!
Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear, not by a long shot. Franziska's logic. But yeah. Well, she's German, so part, zwei. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge, where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Why would he... But would he be... What, he was gonna wheel it off the plane? Like, not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? And I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop. Alright. Prepare yourself and acquire the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. But, the glass... Oh. Okay. So we have nothing saying after the turbulence.
Objection!
Let's go. I can't be stopped, Franny. The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools that those who stand in the courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Mr. I-Fly piggy bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Akbay Hicks. You there! Yes, ma'am? Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during turbulence. And the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. Eek! If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still in the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene.
Objection!
There's one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see, so that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Franziska, the person you're talking about. Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted. Only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Yeah, because she is up to something. She's shady. Okay, she is not dead. Alright. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tenero. Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. She's looking sad. Captain's permission. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Mr. Nero, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Franziska seems to have struck a nerve. Tell me about the in-flight shop, yo. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You were saying it was for work, then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I just don't have any reason to go there otherwise. For your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Mr. Nero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. Is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't know how to answer you. As a professional flight attendant, I'm a failure. She must be worn out from the long questioning session she just went through. Okay, well then, what about this thing? If you could please take a look at this for me, Mr. Nero. Oh, that suitcase! Yes, about the suitcase. You're the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured out something else about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional I'm not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there. The last one there. Enlighten me? Because there were two. So you're saying, Mr. Nero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? And I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it! Then say you'll buy it. Thought I just heard someone come in? Maybe not? I'm sorry, I can't. but why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcases isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Mr. Nero, what is one of those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is... It's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She's used it for a long time. I think not. The tag's still on it. Mr. Nero, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. It proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Mr. Nero says. The tag?
Take that!
Tell me, Mr. Nero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about the suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense. The sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Gennaro, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in the in-flight shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. The person who bought this suitcase was... you.
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenero? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. That's sad as hell. Isn't that right? Then the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I finally accomplished something. But the suitcase didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? Or because it's as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. You weren't selling a single one. You were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. Oh, that's sad. You buy one every single time you work a flight. I see. So in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here's my receipt for that purchase. The receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. You're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Mr. Nero, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases too? Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Mr. Nero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door there. What about security? That door has no special lock installed because just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Franziska? Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name. And what do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their key card. Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rolled the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That other attendant, Miss Meal. I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Franziska got information out of Miss Meal. In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different key card is required. A different one. Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Tenera, and only you. What? Is this true, Miss Tenera? Yes, I keep that key card in my locker at all times. Could you please show us that card right now? Yes, hold on. I don't believe it. What's wrong? The key card, it's gone. Ha ha ha. Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you were just trying to hide it from us. You really thought this through. Wait, It's not like that. You can tell us all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Edgeworth. What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Franziska, I know that you are the lead investigator in this case. However, hold it. Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. Interesting. Very interesting. Because it looks like my hypothesis that, like, you know, the big boobed are not to be trusted at times. There have been, like, exemptions. But I'm beginning to think like Rhoda might be being framed. Because now we know there's a little, like, or an implied love triangle going. Because Rhoda was like, oh, the captain only has ears for Cammy. And then Cammy was being all lovey-dovey with the captain. Now her key card to the hold is missing. But then, how are they going to investigate the cargo hold if her key card is gone and that's the only one that'll get down there? Unless there's like an override or something. Maybe the captain has one. But yeah, something's up. Something's up. It could be that she's being framed by Cammy. But then the whole Borginian thing is at play here. Unless we're going to have like a repeat from Apollo Justice. That was his name, right? Apollo. Yeah, AJ. Unless we're going to have a repeat of someone who turns out was Borginian that we had no idea about before. Well, no, that wasn't the case in that one. Like, everybody was Borginian. Well, but no, like, whatever homegirl's name, the singer, the blind one, she just had amnesia. And I don't know, but something's up here. And, like, even with LeBlanc and, like, him being in a rush, his cloth in the suitcase, something's up here. Because I was suspicious of Rhoda going into this, but now I'm beginning to think she's being framed. I don't quite know, but I am curious to see where this goes. Regardless, next time we're going to examine the cargo hold, I think. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. See you next time for some more Let's Play Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations. Goodbye.